Hey, g'day everybody, this is Jacko from Music Nation TV. Welcome back to my studio. Welcome to 2026. Hope you're all having a fantastic year. I'm just doing a little series of videos here just to kind of get you up to speed of what I'm doing in my studio here, answer some questions that I got last year about my studio, the workflow I do and stuff. And I thought I'd just kind of talk really about the type of music I write, and I think it's very unusual because I've never seen anyone write this type of music out there, which blows my mind. Everyone's either a cinematic composer or a film, TV guy or whatever. I write for musical theatre, right? Shock horror, I know. Is there any money in it? No, but we try. I mean, there's money is what you make of it, right? So there is, you can get paid to make some music, but I like to write full musicals, right? I'm writing one at the moment called Grimmwood, and it's a vampire one. It's a bit of fun. Let me get some stuff running in the background here. Is that too loud? Nah. And it's so it's very orchestral. The music I write anyway, very orchestral, very dark. I like adding rock elements. Maybe that is a bit loud. I like I'm very inspired by like Rammstein and Nightwish, Ayreon, bands like that. So if you're into kind of that symphonic metal thing, you might like theatre music. It's a really cool genre. So, but I mean, it doesn't mean I couldn't do film music if it came along. TV stuff, yeah. I mean, it easily could translate. It's just not what I focus on, right? So the competition is just, especially in New Zealand where I am, it's just forget it. There is no chance of getting involved in that scene or certainly getting paid for it. So I make my own way. But yeah. So how do I write? What do I do? How does it happen? So if you watch the other videos I've made, I've kind of gone into depth of some parts of the studio here, but this is the studio and this is my centerpiece. This is the Yamaha Montage, which I write everything on. And I have over here some processing stuff. I have some modules, some synth modules over here. Speakers. It's a fairly standard kind of mixing studio, I guess, except I don't mix. I try to avoid doing as much mixing as possible. The PC's kind of around the back there in a little enclosure to keep it cool, and I have twin monitors here. Unfortunately, like the one down the bottom is 4K and the one at the top is just standard HD, so they kind of have like a offset kind of scaling, which is a bit frustrating, but it means everything on the bottom is all nice and wide and everything on the top is all kind of squashed in, which is weirdly enough actually not bad for doing MIDI arrangements on. The DAW I use is a Reaper, fantastic DAW. I have all the other DAWs. I own Pro Tools and Cubase and Bitwig and Samplitude and the whole works, right? And not that I don't like those programs, but for doing the type of work I do, Reaper, nothing comes close to Reaper. It's just such a powerful DAW. I need some music running in the background. And yeah, so, and it's because it's super customizable. I've got scripts running which I've customized. This whole interface here is custom. Like all these icons down the very bottom here. I'm a big fan of Reason, Propellerhead's Reason, right? And they have this icon style usually down the side, but I'm so used to using it that I thought, I'll just do my own thing. So I customized this down the bottom. This is the software that I use most often. I can just click it and it kind of brings up a track with all the samples that I need right there and then. It also uses MIDI note channels and it uses track templates, which I've done a video about, so definitely go and check those out if you're into it. And it's super powerful, I guess is the right word, because of the way Reaper's built. It's not really built on top of a platform, it's like it's its own custom code, so it's very efficient. Runs flawlessly. Like this track here, we're listening to 67 tracks, some fairly intensive sample libraries running there. Let's get into something a bit, this is kind of full rock stuff here. This would be typical of music stuff I write. I'm using AI vocals in this. AI vocals is just such a godsend for writing.
Long ago when the stars still shone, hearts still dared to dream.
That's AI vocals.
Across the hills to a place unknown, drawn by a darker gleam. A house stood high on a wind-torn hill, its windows black with fire. It called to me with a...
I've really adapted into this AI stuff really nicely, actually. Like, I think the problem is, you think, oh, AI, you just go into Suno and it's going to spit out some garbage and it's going to be perfect, right? That's not how you use it. Whenever I write fairly basic kind of arrangements, usually with piano, then I'll extrapolate them to the strings of it sitting nicely. Then I will kind of expand out into like I've got some type of track that sits nicely as a whole, and then I'll input that not into Suno. I use Ace Studio, which, wow, Ace Studio is unbelievable, and then put my lyrics in there, so it's got my music, the lyrics, and then it just sings for you. So when you get the vocalist added to the music, it just takes on such a brand new dimension, and it means I don't have to bring somebody in, because it's quite expensive to bring in singers. So I can have it preset here with the AI. It's kind of pretty close. I mean, it's not quite on the money. Like, you need to go through Ace Studio and kind of put the notes that you want it to sing. But it comes out pretty nicely. But it kind of interacts with your music somehow. I don't know exactly how the hell it works. So that if I write it kind of metal, it sings metal. You know, when I write it kind of a Nashville sound, it has that country twang. It's really, really clever. And yeah, so it's fantastic, certainly just for getting structures built like I have here. And then once I'm happy with it, I'll just replace the singer with a real singing, you know, because you can't use AI singing. Yeah, and it's kind of cool. And I don't use it for doing any instruments. I had a muck around with kind of doing violins and things like that, but it just doesn't, it's not right. It's just so easy to play it in. You know, I just wouldn't bother, you know, like... It's just so much easier for me to just kind of quickly play in the notes than it is to kind of get it done with AI. Like, that's the MIDI arrangement for that string part. You know, it takes me like a minute to play that in, where if you mucked around with AI, you could be there for months trying to get the right sound. So it doesn't work that well for instrumentation. And things like the synth, that's all this montage here. So I use the montage for doing any kind of realistic kind of Moog DX7 CS80 kind of synth stuff, because it's right on the money. It's so nice. It's really good for doing syncopated stuff, like in here. So you can program in the MIDI sync inside the synthesizer itself. So like that's like two layers of synths. Like there's a pad on the top and then this underlining kind of moogie kind of. It's getting complicated, but like I like how, you know, you can kind of bring in both worlds, like the hardware and the software and the AI. It's just so nice, so very, very cool. And over here is my digital console, which if I just drag up this mixing, you can probably see in this camera here, I run two screens. Right down here is the mixing desk. I'll just, is it going to let me do it? Sometimes it gets a bit touchy about being dragged around multiple screens because of the resolution, but like this is, so this is physically controlling my desk over here. I don't know if you can see those faders are moving, right? So that's kind of really nice. Drag that down there again. So with I guess hardware synths. I don't. Did you call the Yamaha Montage a hardware? I guess it is a hardware synth. It's more of a rompler, I guess. But you know, I'm calling it hardware because it's something you can touch. So I've got a couple of modules here. the external hardware digital console, a bit of processing there. I've got a lot of instruments I use, and any kind of string stuff. I've got a couple of good players local who like come and kind of add on real violins and viola, a really good violist up the road. Yeah, that's kind of how I get tracks made, and like this is a new musical I'm working on. So I'm still kind of going through the processes of writing all this stuff and getting all the AI vocals in. That's AI too. It's just so clever.
1,000 years we've ruled these hills, unchallenged, standing tall.
And yeah, in one of my videos I spoke about using MIDI note channels. I mean, this is a good example of how the MIDI note channels work in the field. This is like probably 5 articulations being played at the same time on the same track, which is really, really nice. Yeah, so I'm not too sure what else to kind of talk about other than, I mean, over the rest of the year I'll be obviously doing a lot more videos about my music and about what's happening in here, but just the type of music I'm doing is musical theatre, kind of hard rock stuff, and I use this kind of a hybrid external internal kind of thing, balance, I guess it is. So it's not truly analog it's not analog at all, it's all digital, so arguably it's the same as just using in the DAW, but having this external kind of touchy-feely kind of thing vibes with my brain, and it's not at all to be a smart ass or anything like that. It's more to get less in the way of getting my music out of my head into the DAW as quickly as possible. Like, I don't want anything to get in my way, and you know, nothing's worse than technology kind of barring you from writing, you know. So if I have any grief whatsoever with the computer, I just write it directly into the montage here. I just, you know, any kind of weirdness happens, like starts glitching, or there's like a Windows update or something like that, I'll just ignore it and I'll write directly into the montage, because I know I can quickly do it here and then later drag and drop it directly into my DAW and muck with it then. So yeah. And other than that, I mean, it's a good sized room, this one. It's a 4 by about 12, I think, so it's quite long and the sound's okay. I've got these kind of clouds up on here to help stop the sound. There's a massive bookshelf along here in the back wall, and this is all curtained out, so the sound's quite nice in here, and I can do fairly nice vocal treatment in here. So it's a nice little studio. Yeah, I'm not trying to be a mix engineer. I don't want to mix at all. I just want to write, and then I'll pass on the stems to people who know how to mix way better than I do, right? So they can do it all. I don't want to be too smart here. I just want to get the music as best I can into the DAW, and everything I do here is nowhere near what I would call a finalized product. Even when it's finished, it's not finished. It's just like a high-end demo, let's call it. When it comes back from a mix engineer, it's polished high-end demo, but it's not finished. It's designed to get funding and input and like investment by other people. Then we can take that and go to like a proper studio and hire an actual orchestra and actual singers and actual drummers and all that kind of stuff and play it for realsies. I don't know if you've ever had an interest in musical theatre. I might be the channel to subscribe to. So if you want to subscribe, that'd be really awesome if you can help me out. So that's it. I've all got to say today. So thanks so much for listening. This has been Jacko from Music Nation TV. And thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.